the perspective of Bitcoin maximalism is kind of like attack anything that's not Bitcoin, call everything a scam, because that's how we're going to protect people. There's a problem with that thesis, though. It's not that the thesis is wrong, because I do believe most of the things are scams, or at least they're securities pretending to be decentralized when they're not, or whatever. And I have as much hatred for grifters and people just trying to pump their own bags and pump and dumps. I can't stand it as much as any other maximalist, right? The problem is, though, everybody has to learn the hard way, right? We have to learn with our own skin in the game. We have to really, and for most people, learning is like losing money or getting pump and dumped. Nothing a Bitcoin maximalist on Twitter is going to, like, making fun of you. Like, no amount of that is going to prevent somebody from trying to make a quick buck and then failing and then learning, right? Like, we're not protecting people from that. So it's like, there's multiple points, and like, it's good to at least maybe put the criticism out there. But I think some people, they don't leave room for letting people figure it out for themselves and for the learning that goes with that. And like, even with Elon, the example is like, his thinking on Bitcoin has evolved, and he also has the incentive to not evolve certain parts of his thinking related to power use, right? So like, there's biases and incentives for him in that way. And honestly, like, it took me 100 hours to really get Bitcoin this way, like deep understanding, and to understand proof of work, and to understand what decentralized really is, and then understand the history of Bitcoin and how its immaculate creation separates it from everything. Like, that is a lot of Taylor explained to me why this is. Like, I can understand that if his, did I cut out? It's saying
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is, I can understand people that don't get into Bitcoin, or they're too busy, or there's just not super interesting to them. If you don't get the bug and go deep, you're not going to understand it the way we do, right? Which is why we become so passionate, and why, in a way, we're kind of like Bitcoin's immune system, like Maximalists. So I think we just need to consider that. We need to consider that if you want to buy NFTs or shitcoins or anything like that, like, this is the way Saylor puts it. He's like, who am I to judge you for how you spend your money or on entertainment? Like, because that's really what you're doing. It's gambling, it's speculation. And for a lot of people, it's just straight up full-blown entertainment, right? Like, you want to go spend money and go to a concert, you want to spend money and go to watch wrestling, even though you know it's fake, like, whatever you want to do, to each his own. And the ironic thing about Bitcoin is, like, we come from a libertarian kind of free market, freedom-based perspective, yet we want to kind of shame people into not doing certain things in the free market that gives them information to be able to maybe eventually become a maximalist. So that's kind of my perspective on that.